Sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast. Things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon. The pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got Sun's a bit hazy, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready for EMA. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's do this, guys. Let's hit the rubber where the road is. Let's get on the road, guys. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name is Mr. Ronald Tyler. I'm the chairman and president of Emergency Management Associates. We're here for you whenever you need us, 24/7 if necessary. But when something happens, we're on the air to tell you about it, morning, noon, or night. Usually we're on the air Monday through Friday, sometime after 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the East Coast of the United States of America. We're here for you whenever you need us, okay? If you want to get hold of us, let us know. Send us an email. Our email address is scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. Right over there. Right over there, guys. Okay? Our email address is rltnspdema@gmail.com. Our post office box, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We appreciate any correspondence you have with us. If you send us a letter or card, you can also send us a donation inside your letter or card. Just make sure the check or the money is wrapped in a letter here. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters in your area, and kind of let us know if you want us to share it or not. Everybody else might be interested in what you're doing so they can do it themselves as well. We try to help ourselves, each one of us help each other throughout our programs, okay? Also, the same thing goes for cards. Slip your donation inside the card and send it to our post office box, and we get those all the time. All the time. Not often enough, though. Okay, we haven't had a letter, probably, I want to say, 3 months. 3 months, guys. Unreal. Also, you see our PayPal addresses going across the bottom of your screen as well. We have 2 PayPal addresses you can use. 2 PayPal addresses, guys. Use them to send us donations to our program. We'd appreciate to keep this program on the air. You can also send us super chats here while we are on the air here on YouTube. Send us super chats to help us defray the costs of YouTube keeping our program on the air. We'd love it. We'd appreciate it. Okay, we'd appreciate it greatly. Also, after this program is over, you'll see a comment section directly below this video today that you're watching. A comment section. YouTube uses comments as a gauge to determine whether anybody even watched. Okay, they have several analytical factors, including comments. Okay, now they gauge our program on several things. The number of people watch our program, number one. Number two, the length of time you watch our program. If you're on the air with us only maybe a minute or two, it doesn't do you a bit of good at all. Better that you stay off the air with us. Don't even get on here. However, I would instruct all of you, please stay here for as long as you possibly can and watch our program. We have very important information for you. Watch our program, guys, please, throughout the entire program if you can. Okay? Doesn't do anybody any good if you're here 1 or 2 minutes or even 5 minutes. That doesn't give you any good information. We put out the information for your good, your safety, and to make sure you're prepared for emergencies and disasters that are going to happen to you. They happen all over the world. They happen now. They happen now. I want to thank my good friend Juanito here from El Centro, California, in Southern California, in the Imperial Valley, where we had a bunch of earthquakes this past weekend on Saturday. We're going to go and talk about that right now. Okay? Now, lots of earthquakes happen. Lots of earthquakes happen, guys. Now, we had all these earthquakes here. Over 300 earthquakes hit the Imperial Valley during the weekend. Look where these earthquakes were at. The slide on the right side says 200 plus earthquakes. By Sunday evening, that number was over 300 plus earthquakes. By Sunday evening, it was over 300 plus earthquakes, pushing 400 earthquakes here, just here in the Imperial Valley, along the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault here, guys. This is where the earthquakes are happening right now. Right now, even. Okay? We have about 40 earthquakes that have happened just today. This is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. All these earthquakes here. Now, I know for a fact that Juanito felt these earthquakes. He's told us before when he's had he and his wife and family have had 3.03.5 earthquakes. They felt those earthquakes. They felt most of these earthquakes this weekend. They had upwards of 4.8 magnitude earthquakes, 4.8 moderate earthquakes here. They had 4.0, 4.1, 4.5, 4.8 earthquakes all over the valley here, all over the Imperial Valley. Most of it due to the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. Now, I've been asked the question repeatedly throughout the weekend. Did this fault contribute to the earthquakes? The answer is yes. Yes, it did. Yes, this earthquake fault, the San Andreas Fault, contributed to most of these earthquakes today. The other question was, yesterday I had several people ask me the question, Ron, what about the Salton Butte volcano? The Salton Butte volcano. Over here on the southern side of the Salton Sea, you see here on the right slide, the southern side of the Salton Butte Salton Sea here. The Salton Butte volcano lies almost in the middle portion, the southern side of the Salton Sea, down here closer to the shoreline of the Salton Sea. That's where the Salton Butte volcano is. Now, why would the Salton Butte volcano be responsible for all those earthquakes down towards El Centro and also in Brawley? Also in Brawley, guys. The left slide shows the earthquakes around Brawley, California. Raleigh, California is a community of about 5,000 people now. Used to be maybe 1,000, 2,000 people. Now it's about 5,000 people. Good sized community down here in the Imperial Valley. El Centro is a town of about 10 to 12,000 people now. El Centro is responsible for the Naval Air Station there. Most of the people that live in El Centro are Navy people responsible for the Naval Air Station to the northwest of El Centro. Now, yes, the Salton Butte volcano had something to do with it. Why? Why? Let's go over to the USGS map now. I'm momentarily going to take these slides down. I'm going to turn on the USGS map. Okay. Now I had it set up to show you some other things. I'm going to turn it upside down here, literally, and we're going to take a look at the Imperial Valley here. The Imperial Valley. Right here. Okay. Right here. The southern end of the Salton Sea right here. This is where the Salton Butte volcano is underwater. Underwater. The Salton Butte volcano is an active volcano. It could erupt at any moment. I'm told by USGS personnel and every other person that I've ever talked to about the Salton Butte volcano, including a professor in college, he said, and they also said, the Salton Butte volcano could erupt at a moment's notice. However, it's not showing any signs of eruption right now. The Salton Butte volcano is not showing any signs of eruption right now, but it is an active volcano. It could erupt at any time. With that said, there are other contributing factors to the link to the Salton Butte volcano. I'm going to show you that in just a second here. I'm going to go over here to show you thermal power plants here, such as this power plant you see over here on the left side of your screen. This is a geothermal power plant, guys. A geothermal power plant. What good is it? What good is it? What does it do? The geothermal power plant, guys, pulls steam from the Salton Butte volcano. Men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Salton Butte volcano. Just like they drill for oil and gas in Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Kansas, they also drill for steam from the upper magma chambers of the volcanoes here in the United States and all over the world. They do that to obtain steam to power turbines to generate electricity here in the Imperial Valley. There are 9 different geothermal power plants here in the Imperial Valley. There are 9 different geothermal power plants here in the Imperial Valley. Right here you see one bank of power plant steam boilers here, turbine facilities. One turbine facility right here. This is a bank of 9 turbines here. Like I said, there are 9 other turbine facilities throughout the Imperial Valley here. They pull steam from the upper magma chambers of the volcano. But the fact of the matter is, what's happening here? What is actually happening here? Let me explain that. When men drill into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam, what happens? Can anybody explain that to me? What happens? When they drill into the upper magma chambers of the volcano, what happens? What do you think happens? When they drill into the upper magma chambers of the volcano, it's just like any other drill point. Anytime men drill into the center of the earth, they drill into the crust of the earth. Seismic activity, seismic signals come from the Pacific plate over to the North American plate. They find an earthquake fault, whether it is a natural earthquake fault or a man-made earthquake fault. Doesn't matter. When they find an earthquake fault, natural or man-made, the seismic energy hits that fault and fractures the rock inside the fault, causing earth movement. That's somewhat of what happened here this weekend. That's why we had part of the reason we have the earthquakes here this weekend here in the Imperial Valley. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Huge deal, guys. As many geothermal power plants throughout this region, for example, right here, guys. Here's another geothermal power plant. Like I said, there are a total of 9 of them throughout Imperial Valley. Throughout the Imperial Valley, guys. Even down here on the western side, the southwestern side, the Salton Sea down here. I'm trying to find that other one down here. There's another one right here. Oh gosh, where is it here? This is Westmoreland, guys. Westmoreland, California. This is another small city, just like the town of Imperial, just like the town of Calipatria. Calipatria over here, I'm going to go back up here. Calipatria right here is a small town here in the Imperial Valley. Calipatria still has a seismograph that is operational. At the end of last year, end of 2025, Caltech and USGS stopped giving the public information about what's happening here in the Imperial Valley. The seismograph here at Calipatria is still operational. We still can get information from Calipatria seismograph on the earthquakes here around Calipatria. Typically around Calipatria, there are anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here in Calipatria alone. 75 to 150 earthquakes here in Calipatria alone every day. Every day. Every day. But earthquakes down here around Brawley had nothing to do with any of those earthquakes. Those were in addition to what happened here in Brawley during this weekend. Okay? Over 400, probably close to 400 earthquakes here in the Brawley, California area, down even including El Centro. El Centro, guys. This is what happened. This is exactly what happened. Earthquakes are still hitting here. Earthquakes are still hitting here. You see 3 red circles here. USGS gives these red circles as happening, and they last here on the map about 2 hours. This red circle here is a 2.0 minor earthquake. 2.0 minor earthquake. This is a 1.4 tremor. This is another 1.4 tremor. There's 2.0s, 2.8 earthquakes all throughout this area right here. Here's a 2.4 here. 2.0, 2.9 are minor earthquakes. 1.0 to 1.9 are tremors. Tremors. Most people never feel tremors, never feel minor earthquakes as well. If there's an earthquake that's going to be felt, it's going to be a 3.0 plus earthquake. Now, in addition to this information I'm putting up right now, USGS continues to downgrade earthquakes. Some of these earthquakes may indeed be 3.0 earthquakes. USGS doesn't want anybody to know about it. Why? Because they think that the public not knowing what's going on is going to make things better. If you guys are here in the Imperial Valley today, including Juanito, if you felt any of these earthquakes, they're probably larger than 1.6s or 2.0s or 2.4s or 2.8 earthquakes. They probably are. But again, the USGS is known for downgrading quakes and not telling the truth. They're known for downgrading earthquakes and not telling the truth. I've shown you earthquakes in Alaska where they show an earthquake there, but they say it's about 35 miles southwest, north, or east of where it's at, because they don't want to identify where the earthquakes are. They also downgrade the quakes as well. They don't want to take responsibility for what's happening here. What's going to happen then? What's going to happen? When there's a major earthquake here, nobody's going to know exactly what to happen. Okay? They want to make sure that happens. That way they don't have to take responsibility for anything. Here's a 2.3 earthquake right here. 2.3 earthquake here. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Over here, also Brawley, a 2.1 earthquake, minor earthquake here. Like I said, there are all kinds of tremors and all kinds of minor earthquakes here. All over here. Now, as many earthquakes are here, and I counted 40 earthquakes here today. 40 minor earthquakes here in the Brawley El Centro area today. 40 of them. That may not be all of them. USGS is not going to do it. They're not going to show us everything. They never do. They never ever do. Now, guys, if you're feeling shaking, send me an email and tell me when you felt the shaking and how strong that earthquake might have been. We'd know. Again, if you're in the Imperial Valley area today, and you're feeling earthquakes, tell me about the approximate time you felt it, and how you think it was. We'd love to know, and we'll tell you about it tomorrow. These earthquakes are going to continue to hit. What happened this past weekend is not over. Not over by a long shot. These earthquakes are going to continue for quite some time. To have as many earthquakes as we did this past weekend, that tells us one thing. This is not a one-time experience. These are going to continue. They're going to continue for some time. So please, guys, please let us know what you're feeling and when you felt it and how strong it was. We'd like to know it. We'll tell you about it in the next coming days. If it happened today, tell us about it tomorrow. If it happened tomorrow, before you come on the air, tell us about it so we can talk about it on the air tomorrow. Or after that, even for the next few days, let us know what happens. Now, guys, given what's happened here that I've shown you already, yesterday and today, earthquakes are going to continue to hit here. They're going to continue to hit here. They always do. What happened here in Brawley is not just happening here. Earthquakes are happening everywhere. They literally are happening everywhere. Everywhere, guys. Literally everywhere. Now, for the south here, there's a town called Imperial. USGS and Caltech cut off the seismograph that's here. They had a seismograph that was telling us information. They've also cut this off from us. However, here in El Centro, there's also a seismograph here. They've cut it off as well. El Centro here, they used to have anywhere from 3 to 9 to 12 3.0 plus earthquakes every day. Juanito lives here. He's told us about earthquakes that are hitting here. Typically on a given day, before they cut us off this past December, there are about 9 3.0 plus earthquakes a day. Every day. Every day. Juanito and his family felt these earthquakes. Juanito's here in the chat saying he felt the one 4.8 earthquake stronger than it shook for a while there in El Centro. He felt it stronger than it was. That's because that earthquake is probably a 5.0 large earthquake. There was probably a large 5.0 earthquake, folks. Again, USGS is not going to tell us what's happening here. Okay? They want us to think nothing's going on, so they don't have to take responsibility for what happens. Earthquakes are continuing to hit here. Juanito, if you felt any earthquakes today. I just asked Juanito just a second ago now if you felt any earthquakes here today. I'm going to wait for his answer here. This is important. Why do you think it's important? Because, guys, USGS does not want to be honest. We want to know what's going on here. Everybody lives in this region here. In El Centro has a right to know what's happening. And the agency's not reporting it. The agency's not reporting it at all. Down here to the south here, right here. This is southern Imperial Valley in a town called Heber, California. 2 miles east-northeast of Heber, California. They're down here, Heber, California. This was a 1.3 tremor today. Tremors are not felt at all. They're too small. They're too small, guys. Let's go over here to Holdville. Holdville. This is another town that they have a museum of sorts for earthquakes. It's called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station in Holdville, California. This is also one of the only places where we still have access to seismograms here in the Imperial Valley. Seismograms are the computer readout from the seismograph computer that tells us what earthquakes are happening. Yes, we still get earthquakes here in Holdville, mostly tremors and minor earthquakes. Mostly tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors 1.0, 1.9. Minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9. 3.0, 3.9 are small earthquakes. 4.0, 4.9 are moderate earthquakes. 5.0 to 5.9 are large earthquakes, and from 5.6 to 5.9, they're called very large earthquakes. 6.0, 6.9 are very strong earthquakes, and 7.0 and larger are major earthquakes. Major earthquakes. Given the situation here, this may have released some of the stress here on the San Andreas Fault. It may have released some of the stress here in the Imperial Valley on the San Andreas Fault. It may have. May have, guys. That's a big question here. That's a huge question here. Let me tell you this. The San Andreas Fault starts way up here in Northern California, off the coast of Northern California. Right here. Right here. See this triple junction here? The earthquake fault going north is the Cascade Subduction Zone Fault Zone. The Cascade Subduction Zone Fault Zone. The earthquake fault going off to the left is the Gorda Escarpment. That earthquake fault going off to the right there, off to the southeast, is the San Andreas Fault. We have earthquakes here today on the San Andreas Fault. This earthquake out to sea is on the Gorda Escarpment. That's a 2.6 minor earthquake. We have earthquakes here on the San Andreas Fault here. Okay? They've already taken one earthquake I can see off the map here that was over here in Pacific, California just earlier this morning. Right here. This is Pacific, California. There was a 2.4 earthquake just earlier this morning. They've taken it down. Again, they don't want to be responsible for something happening. They don't want anybody to know it's happening. They don't want to tell us about it, except if they absolutely have to. Usually, before this past year or so, they used to leave these earthquakes up on the map at least a day, 24 hours. Now, they yank them down after even several hours. That's why we're not seeing this earthquake here in Pacific, California. Over on the east side of the San Francisco Bay Area, we show one earthquake up here to the north, right up here. This is a 2.2 earthquake near Pinole, California. Pinole, California. It's just south of the San Francisco Bay there. Just barely south of the San Francisco Bay there. Okay? Now, what else is there? What else is there? Right here. Right here. This is the town of Berkeley, California. This city is on the Hayward Fault. The Hayward Fault. If you remember back to 1989, October 1989, at the beginning of October 9th, we had what they called the baseball earthquake, 6.9 earthquake, originating on the Hayward Fault. That earthquake did several billion, I think $3 to $4 billion in damage in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Huge earthquake. It damaged the Oakland Bay Bridge. Or I'm sorry, not the Oakland Bay, the San Francisco Bay Bridge. Both decks of the bridge went into the water. Cars and people died in the water when they went into the Bay of San Francisco Bay. Huge deal. That's going to happen again. Off to the east of the Hayward Fault. Look at it here. That's called the Hayward Fault. I'm not the Hayward, the Calaveras Fault. That fault is the Calaveras Fault. Both the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault almost run parallel to each other. As they go south, they become closer and closer together here. As you can see, the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault right here are very close, probably within 25 miles of each other. That's way close. Way close. What happens when that happens? Say we have a major earthquake on the Hayward Fault here. The Calaveras Fault is right here. All the other ancillary faults in this region are also going to pick up on that fault, on that earthquake. That means what is happening here on the Hayward Fault is going to be echoed on the other faults. Bouncing off the other faults. I mean, those other faults can also have damage there, picking up the seismic waves from that earthquake. Those other faults in that area are going to pick up seismic waves and can be also set off by the fault that was going on. What is the problem here? As we go closer and closer to just south of the Bay Area, three of the most dangerous fault zones come into play here. The San Andreas closer to the coast here, the Hayward further out to the east, and a little bit further out to the east, the Calaveras Fault. Any major earthquake on the San Andreas Fault is also going to set off the Hayward and the Calaveras. Imagine that. That means almost total destruction of the people here, almost total destruction of the property and people here in Northern California, in this region, Northern California. We have the Bay Area here. Down here, we have Monterey Bay here as well. This city of Monterey Bay is huge, probably close to 100,000 people here, right on the San Andreas Fault. Now, yes, I'm going to get back to the Imperial Fault in a minute. Going back into the Imperial Valley in a minute. Let's back out here, zoom out. What happens, and I've talked about this past week extensively, what happens when we have a cascaded megathrust earthquake, a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake? That seismic energy is going to be felt up here in Alaska. Also, it's going to be echoed all the way down the western coast of North America, Canada, and the United States, all the way down to Mexico, all the way down at least to northern Mexico. As that seismic energy is being relayed down the coastline, some of that energy is going to be wasted, meaning some of that energy is going to fall off. By the time this energy reaches the San Francisco Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area may see 8.0, 8.5 shaking. The San Francisco Bay Area may see 8.0 to 8.5 shaking, maybe larger. What's that going to do to this area? It's going to completely devastate the San Francisco Bay Area and further south as well. It's going to annihilate this area. It's going to activate the other ancillary faults in the area, including the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault, and all the other faults as well. As this earthquake fault goes down here, and the seismic energy has decreased a little bit, by the time it reaches down here further south, around Santa Barbara, we may still see 7.5 to 8.0 shaking down here. We may still see 7.5 to 8.0 magnitude shaking here around Santa Barbara. Further to the south here, the energy from the Cascadia earthquake is going to be echoed down the San Andreas Fault out here, all the way down here to Los Angeles. All the way down here to Los Angeles. 7.5 shaking here probably. 7.5 shaking here probably. And further down here to south, all the way down to northern Mexico. 7.0, 7.5 shaking, major earthquake shaking, guys. Major earthquake shaking here. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, given that situation now, right here in the Los Angeles area alone, in the LA area alone, you see the San Andreas Fault here, the east side of Los Angeles. This area is locked and loaded as it is. This area is locked and loaded as it is. Here on the San Andreas Fault, guys, we are going to see a 7.5 to 8.0 earthquake right here very soon. The scientists say it is almost imminent. It is almost imminent. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Why am I referring to this almost weekly? Or almost, I can't even say weekly, almost every day. I want the people in Los Angeles and Southern California to be prepared. I want all of you to be prepared, guys. It is for your own safety. I want you to possibly survive this earthquake. This earthquake is going to be survivable. This earthquake is going to be survivable only if you're prepared for what's going to happen. It will be survivable if you're prepared for what's going to happen. Some of it is being in the right place at the right time. This area is going to shake. The San Andreas Fault is going to also be echoed all over the Los Angeles area. All over the greater Los Angeles area, including Orange County, San Bernardino County, and out in the desert of Southern California. The seismic waves are going to echo throughout this area, throughout the entire region. When that earthquake hits, the earthquake faults over here in the Riverside area will also be activated. There are other ancillary faults here in Riverside, Orange County, Los Angeles here. The Newport Inglewood Fault, for example, is going to activate this as well. This whole area is going to shake like it's never shaken before. If you thought the Newport Inglewood Fault shook when the Northridge earthquake happened in 1994, it did, because the fault that shook at the Northridge quake also activated the Newport Inglewood Fault. It shook all the way to the coastline. Shook all the way to the coastline, guys. Right here, Southern California. Right here, south of Corona here. This is the 1.4 tremor here today. Imagine when the San Andreas Fault activates, this whole area will be full of earthquakes. Full of earthquakes. Okay? Up here to the north. This is Rancho Cucamonga. 5 miles north of Rancho Cucamonga. This area is going to shake as well. This is a 1.0 tremor. Again, these tremors are not going to be felt at all. They're too small. They're too small to be felt. Now, we're going to have earthquakes here. It's inevitable. Earthquakes are going to happen here. They always will. Now, what's happening here now? Right here. See Fontana here? Up until December this last year, we had seismograph readings here in Fontana. They shut those seismographs off as well. Here in Fontana, we used to have 3.0 earthquakes here all the time, every day. Literally every day. 2 to 3 3.0 earthquakes were happening here every day. Sometimes they were even larger than 3.0 earthquakes. Look where it's at. Look where Fontana's at. Literally just miles, handful of miles away from the San Andreas Fault. San Andreas Fault is right there. Can you see what I'm talking about, guys? See the importance of this? I want you to understand what's happening here. Right here, Loma Linda, California. Loma Linda, California. Right here is the Loma Linda Medical Center. Loma Linda Medical Center right there. That medical center is full of patients. Full of patients. It's one of the largest medical centers in the world, world renowned, full of patients. Can you imagine what that earthquake's going to do when that hospital's going to do when this earthquake hits? Yeah, consider that. Multiply that times 1 million. Multiply that times 1 million. There are millions of people living all over this region. Millions of people live all over the greater Los Angeles region. Riverside, San Bernardino counties, Orange County, and Los Angeles County. Millions of people live here. They will be affected by this earthquake. They will be affected by this earthquake. Down here to the south, red earthquake again. That means this earthquake just happened. This is a 1.0 tremor here, Loma Linda, California. Right next to it, 1.0 tremor here, Loma Linda. Just south here, 0.9 1.0 tremor here. This is just 1 mile southeast of Loma Linda Medical Center, Loma Linda, California. USGS has this northeast Loma Linda. It's not. You can plainly see where Loma Linda is here. Guys, USGS still can't tell us the truth at all. They never will. They never will. Further down here to the southeast here, this is a 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor here. Allegedly 1 mile north of Loma Linda. Interesting. Interesting. Further down here to the south, Redlands. 3 miles south-southwest of Redlands is 0.6 microquake. This is 1.0 tremor here. 2 miles southeast of Redlands. Interesting. The earthquake right next to it is 0.6 microquake. 2 miles southeast of Redlands. One more earthquake here. This is a 1.4 tremor here near Mentone, California. Mentone, California. In relationship to the San Andreas Fault, it's not very far at all. What's going to happen here? When the San Andreas Fault lets loose, this whole area is going to be destroyed. This whole area is going to be destroyed, guys. Going to be destroyed. Now, just west of the San Andreas Fault, we have the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault runs south here in North San Diego County. We have earthquakes here as well. Okay. This is San Jacinto, California, Orange County. This is 0.3 microquake. For out here to the northeast, 1.0 tremor near Valley Vista, California. Further to the south here, 4 miles southeast of Valley Vista, 0.8 microquake. This is 0.3 microquake here, 4 miles southeast of Valley Vista. Further south here, Idlewild, California. Idlewild, California. Up until December, we had seismograms showing us what was happening here in Idlewild. All kinds of tremors here every day. All kinds of tremors here every day. There are still tremors here going on. USGS is only showing us a microquake here, but guess what? USGS not even being truthful with us. There are all kinds of microquakes here. There are all kinds of tremors here in Idlewild, California. This is at the base of the the San Bernardino Mountains. Actually, right between, this earthquake is right between the San Jacinto and the San Andreas Fault. Further to the south here, Anza, California. The Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. 1.1 tremor here. We come further here to the west, again on the San Jacinto Fault. Palo, California. Palo, California is an Indian reservation here, North San Diego County. 0.5 microquake here. That's all fine and good. Now, I shown you those earthquakes here. Now we are pulling into San Diego County. San Diego County. I want to show you what's going on here. Right here. Santee, California. Santee, California, right here, is just southwest of Lakeside, where I used to live. This earthquake here is closer to Lakeside, though. Closer to Lakeside. Guys, this is a 1.3 trimmer here, 4 miles north-northwest of Lakeside. Like I said, I used to live in Lakeside. I've been down here in Santee many times. Great people live down here in Santee as well. Okay? Now, I want to go further east here. I want to go over here further east. You see the Cuyamaca Rancho State Park? This is the western side of the Chocolate Mountains. The western side of the Chocolate Mountains here. Going up to the top of the Chocolate Mountains. Over here on the east side of the Chocolate Mountains, we have some earthquakes here. We have some earthquakes. This is a 0.8 microquake, 11 miles east-southeast Julian. 11 miles east-southeast Julian here. See where Julian is here? Julian here is in the tops of the mountains here. Julian is an old cowboy town, an old silver town here. They mine silver here in the mountains outside Julian. Today it's apple capital of San Diego County. The apple capital of San Diego County. I've had Julian apple pies here. I bought them here in Julian. Whether you're here during the weekend or go up here during the week. Going up here to Julian, you can buy hot apple pie. You can actually buy lunch or dinner here in Julian. They'll serve you hot apple pie and even a la mode. I ought to get paid to give Julian advertisement. The Julian Chamber of Commerce ought to pay me for giving you this advertisement. Great apple pies here. It's a great town to roam around in. They have small hotels and bed and breakfast here as well. During the fall season, you can buy apples right off the trees here. Pick apples, any of the kind that you want, right off the trees here in Julian. This area's had earthquakes. Julian here's had an earthquake. About a year and a half ago, we had a 5.1 earthquake here in Julian. Large 5.1 earthquake here in Julian. Today out here, east of Julian here. East of Julian. We show you two earthquakes here, right here. We go further east here into the Imperial Valley here, west of the Salton Sea. This earthquake here is a 1.3 tremor here, 10 miles southeast of Ocotillo Wells, California. Ocotillo Wells, California. This is a 0.7 microquake here. You see there are other earthquakes here as well. This is 0.9, 1.0 tremor. This is a 0.6 microquake here. This is the Desert 4 here in the Imperial Valley. Desert 4 here in the Imperial Valley. They have earthquakes here all the time. All the time. Going north here. Right here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. They say this is southwest of Salton City, California. Southwest Salton City, California. Guess what? Right here, this is Salton Beach, Salton City, California here. Salton City, California. This is a ghost town now. This is a ghost town. They have abandoned homes here. They have abandoned mobile homes as well. During the late 1950s, early 60s, this used to be an up-and-coming area. Up-and-coming area. Celebrities from all over the world came here, including Hollywood celebrities here. They used to bask in the sunshine here and play in the water. Now no one can play in the water at all. The water of the Salton Sea is contaminated by fertilizers used to fertilize vegetable plants here that are grown here in the Imperial Valley. The fertilizer and chemicals here from the fertilizers have leached into the water of the Salton Sea, now it's been contaminated. Nobody can go there. Now, I showed you the earthquakes here today. I told you about Calipatria here. Calipatria every day has anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here every day. Right here. That is in addition to the other 400 earthquakes that happened here in the Imperial Valley this past weekend. That's in addition to that. Not just that. Bombay Beach here. This is on the eastern side of the Salton Sea. Here in Bombay Beach, we every day see 3.0, 3.5, even upwards of 4.5 moderate earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. 10 to 15, 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here at Bombay Beach every day. Not to be outdone by that. Guess what? Guess what, guys? That's not all. There's more. There's a lot more here. Just a second, guys. For some reason, I lost my satellite feed here. Lost my satellite feed here. Oh, gosh. They changed my map here. They changed my map. That's okay. We can still show you what we want to show you here. Right alongside the Salton Sea here. Literally right alongside the Salton Sea here. Now, I don't know why they did this. I have no idea why they did this. Let me back out of this for just a minute. I'm going to try to get it back here. Occasionally, USGS does this to me. I got it. I got it back, guys. How about that? Okay. Now, I'm going back here to Bombay Beach area. There's a reason. There's a reason, guys. Bombay Beach, California. All the way from Northern California, the San Andreas Fault goes all the way through California, comes into the Imperial Valley right here. Comes into the Imperial Valley right here. Runs down the east side of the Salton Sea here and goes underneath the Salton Sea here at Bombay Beach. This is one of the reasons we see 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here at Bombay Beach every day. We can still show you seismograms, which are the computer readouts from the seismographs. We can still show you seismograms here showing 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here every day at the Bombay Beach here. At Bombay Beach here. Bombay Beach here used to be a spa, just like the Blue Lagoon Spa in Iceland. It used to be a spa. It's also an abandoned ghost town. The good thing about Bombay Beach is the people still come to visit here. You can't go in the water here because it's contaminated. But there's a coffee station here. Someone has built a coffee station here. Coffee station here and also some small things to eat. People come here in their campers. They come here with their motorhomes and camp here at Bombay Beach. They also feel the earthquakes here when they happen. They happen every day here. Now, when the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea, comes out from underneath the Salton Sea right here near Calipatria. Then it goes along the southern side of the Salton Sea down here and goes south to nearly Westmoreland. Then the San Andreas Fault goes all the way through the Imperial Valley here. You can see it here. We are still seeing earthquakes here right now here today. We're going to see earthquakes here in the coming days as well. These earthquakes are not going to stop. Now, given this information here, what else do you need to know? At any one time, any one of these earthquakes here can produce an equal or larger earthquake here. Any one of these earthquakes here within the next week could produce another earthquake of equal size at any point in time. Now, given we had up to 4.8 earthquakes here in El Centro during this past week, during this past weekend, that means there is a 25% chance of another earthquake equal or larger in size. Equal or larger in size, guys. This can still happen here. This can still happen. So we have a possibility of more earthquakes just like we had this past weekend. All this next week. All this coming week. If you think I'm crazy, I might be. But I'm just telling you the facts here. I'm just giving you the facts here. The facts are important here. Now, USGS has also frozen this earthquake map again. I'm going to take it down and put it back up here. I'm going to unfreeze it, put it back up. Up until about 6 months ago, they were doing this and they stopped. They're doing it again. They're doing it again. Like I said, the San Andreas Fault starts up here, runs all the way through California, all the way through California, down here east of Los Angeles, down here into the Imperial Valley. When we had 4.8 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley on Saturday and Sunday. So those earthquakes were felt in San Diego County as well. I have contacts at the Emergency Operations Center here in San Diego City. I have contacts that I've worked with during past earthquake drills. When the next earthquake hits here, when the next major earthquake hits here, it's going to hit here. It's going to be felt all the way up into Los Angeles. It will be felt all the way up into Los Angeles. Now, I want to go back here to 2010. Right down here on the southern side of the Mexican border. Southern side of the U.S.-Mexico border. Right here. This is an area called Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. It's a province of Mexico. On April 3rd, 2010, we had a 7.1 major earthquake. Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. Over here's the border. Mexicali was taken apart. The city of Mexicali was taken apart. On the north side of the border, we have Calexico. Calexico was also taken apart. There was damage on both sides of the border. The shaking was also felt in El Centro and all the other cities here in the Imperial Valley. That 7.1 earthquake was felt all the way up here into northern Los Angeles. All the way north here in northern Los Angeles as well. That earthquake is going to hit again. That size of earthquake is going to hit again. Like I said before, we are expecting a 7.5 to 8.5 earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault in the Los Angeles, San Diego region very soon. It is nearly imminent. Nearly imminent. That earthquake is going to be felt all the way around Southern California. All the way around Southern California. And probably all the way up here to Santa Barbara as well. And all the way out in the desert areas of Southern California. Now, when we had that earthquake on April 10th, 2010, that earthquake was felt out here in Las Vegas. That earthquake was felt all the way over here in Las Vegas. Yeah. Can you imagine what it's going to happen now when it hits again? Yeah, guys, it's going to happen. Now, I told you about what happened here this weekend. This is not something we need to gloss over at all. We need to pay attention to it. I showed you one earthquake offshore from Northern California here, just west of the Triple Junction here on the Gorda Escarpment. Minor earthquake. We have several other earthquakes here in the Cascade Subduction Zone region. In the Cascade Subduction Zone region, for example, this earthquake here. This is the 2.7 earthquake here near Wedway, California, the Mendocino Fault region. Further north on the Mendocino Fault, Hydesville, California. Hydesville, California. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Further north here, this is a 2.3 in Eureka, California. 4 miles north-northwest of Eureka, California. Minor 2.3 earthquake. Now, you only see a handful of earthquakes here in Oregon and Washington. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. There are literally hundreds of earthquakes here in Oregon and Washington. We'll talk about this probably either Tuesday or Thursday this week. Hundreds of earthquakes here, not just what they want to show us here. Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens are still showing signs of a possible eruption. You need to be aware of that as well. Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier are still showing signs of a possible eruption going to happen. We talked about this last week. Going up here north. We talked about this earlier last year, right here. This island was called Charlotte's Island. Now it's called Haida Gwaii. The Canadians have nicknamed it Haida Gwaii, or maybe it's been all Haida Gwaii all along, but they called it Queen Charlotte's Island here. Right here, we have an earthquake today on the Haida Gwaii Fault. See this earthquake fault? Called the Haida Gwaii Fault. This is a 4.1 earthquake on the Haida Gwaii. What's the problem here? What's the problem here? The Haida Gwaii Fault is capable of a megathrust earthquake. The Haida Gwaii Fault is capable of a megathrust earthquake. We studied this last year. I gave a full presentation about it. When that earthquake hits, the people who live in Haida Gwaii here are going to only have minutes before the tsunami hits Haida Gwaii. Because the Haida Gwaii Fault is so close to the landmass, the people that live here on the island of Haida Gwaii are only going to have minutes to get to higher ground before they're going to be hit with a 75-foot wall of water. Before they get hit with a 75-foot wall of water, or maybe several 75-foot high walls of water. It's not just going to be one tsunami, it's going to be many tsunamis that are going to hit here. Many tsunami waves will hit here. Now, let's go down to the south. We've told all of you We've been talking about this for many years now, 7 years now. I started this program 7.5 years, almost 7.5 years ago. Actually, that's not right. Just over 7 years. April 3rd, 7 years ago. Right here is where we're going to have the Cascade Megathrust earthquake. A 9.0, 10.0 magnitude earthquake. Those seismic waves are going to go up the coast as well. They're connecting the Cascade subduction zone connects with the Haida Gwaii fault. The Haida Gwaii fault. What that means, the Haida Gwaii will also be hit with tsunami waves when the Cascade earthquake hits. This whole fault zone here is going to be shaking like nothing else. Not just Haida Gwaii, but Alaska as well. Alaska as well. This fault zone right here, is going to be capable of carrying that seismic energy from the cascaded earthquake all the way up here into Alaska. All the way up here into Alaska, guys. It's going to happen. The people living here in Alaska are going to feel the Cascade earthquake. They're also going to see a huge tsunami wave or multiple huge tsunami waves hitting Alaska here as well. Okay? We have people here in Alaska that monitor our program. We're putting the word out now. We always have. This is going to happen. Now, as we said before, when that Cascade earthquake hit here off of Oregon, off of Washington and Vancouver Island, the people on Vancouver Island will also see the tsunami wave. They're also going to feel it shaking. They're going to be right on top of it. Literally right on top of it. Vancouver, British Columbia is also going to feel it. They're also going to feel tsunami waves coming through the Puget Sound region. What else is going to happen? When that Cascade earthquake hits, tsunami waves are going to travel through the Pacific Basin over here in Japan. When this last happened, 334 years ago, people here in Japan were hit with what they called an orphan tsunami. An orphan tsunami. They did not realize what it was caused by an earthquake across the ocean. They had no clue. They knew that an earthquake had not hit Japan, but they'd had tsunami waves here from earthquakes here in Japan before. They were hit with tsunami waves here. They kept very good records. That's how we know the date and approximate time that the Cascade earthquake hit. It's going to hit here again. This entire Pacific Basin, from Alaska south here to the Antarctic Ridge, including Australia, New Zealand, the South Pacific islands of Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, Papua Indonesia proper here, going to get hit with tsunami waves. Fact. Not just here, but over here on the west coast of South America and Central America as well. Fact. That's a fact. Why do you think we talk about it? We want to warn the people. Let's go over here to Japan today. Off the northeast coast of Japan here. Off the northeast coast of Honshu, Japan. We have a 4.3 earthquake here. Northeast Yakinama Japan. Northeast of Honshu here, we have another 5.0 earthquake here. USGS called this out as a 4.9. First came out as a 5.1. They downgraded to a 4.9. I believe this was at least a 5.0 earthquake here off the northeast coast of Japan. This was 91 miles east of Miyako, Japan. I don't think anybody felt the shockwaves of this large earthquake. If they felt anything, they just felt some movement where they lived. Because the ocean waters here absorbed the major shockwaves from this quake. Further south here, south of Japan here, these are called the Ryukyu Islands here south of Japan. This is another large earthquake here. This is another large 5.0 earthquake. 37 miles east-southeast of ice in Japan. Ice in Japan, guys. Large earthquake here. Now, I don't know of anybody living here on ice in Japan. It's possible that people live here. There are cities here. They may have felt some part of this seismic energy. They may have felt some part of this seismic energy. This is only 37 miles east of ice in Japan here. They may have felt some of this seismic energy, but not the full brunt of a large earthquake. Okay? Not to be outdone. Not to be outdone at all. Down here in Indonesia. Here in Indonesia, there are 53 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. 53. I counted them earlier. Look at the USGS. They're not saying anything about any earthquake here in Indonesia today. Not a thing. Allegedly, they don't want anybody to know about it. 53 earthquakes here. They range in size from 2.5, minor earthquake, 3.0, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 4.2, 4.5, and 4.7 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. They're not showing a single earthquake here at all. It's amazing. They're showing one earthquake over here in northwestern Australia. One earthquake here in northwestern Australia. This is a 4.2 moderate earthquake here. 4.2 moderate earthquake, 27 miles north of Fitzroy Crossing, Australia. Out here in the northwestern deserts of Australia. 4.2 moderate earthquake here. It's amazing. They show absolutely no earthquakes when they have 4.2, 4.5, and 4.7 earthquakes in Indonesia. They're not showing one earthquake, but they do here in Australia. Insane. Insane, guys. Over here in the Solomon Islands, they're showing one earthquake here. This is a large 5.2 earthquake. 45 miles northwest of Molongo, Solomon Islands. 40 miles northwest of Molongo, Solomon Islands right here. Incredible. Incredible. There are other earthquakes here as well. Down here south of Fiji. This earthquake here is a 5.0 large earthquake. South of Fiji Islands. This earthquake here is a 5.1. Both of these earthquakes are out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean here, not near any islands at all. The ocean waters of the Pacific Ocean absorbed the shock waves from these quakes. Nobody felt them at all. At all. Down here in New Zealand, we know for a fact there are earthquakes. I've shown the earthquakes on my other device here. They're always here. They range in size from 2.0 on up to 3.7 earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9, again, meaning minor earthquakes. 3.0, 3.9 are small quakes. That's what they have here the South and the North Islands of New Zealand. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Again, I want to show you this. New Zealand has a supervolcano right here. It's called Topovolcano. Topovolcano. The top of the volcano is water. It's a lake. It's a lake. This lake is getting hit. This volcano is getting hit with tremors, minor earthquakes all the time. I've shown you earthquakes that hit north, south, east, and west around the volcano. This earthquake is getting hit with tremors and minor earthquakes all the time. At some point in time, again, we're going to have something happen here at Topovolcano. Some point last year, Topovolcano was put on alert status because they had enough earthquakes here to cause a volcanic possible alert. The Topovolcano could erupt. Yes, it could. Again, I want to caution everyone. All the volcanoes worldwide are active. All the volcanoes worldwide are active. They're recharging. These volcanoes are recharging just as Topovolcano is. And at some point in time, Topovolcano might erupt. Now, I'm going to go briefly over here to South America. 48 earthquakes here in South America. 48 earthquakes here in South America. 12 earthquakes here in central Chile. 12 earthquakes here in central Chile. See where Santiago, the capital of Chile, is here? There's an earthquake just west of Santiago, Chile. It's a 4.7 earthquake. USGS not even showing it. North of Valparaiso up here. This is a 4.8 earthquake here. 27 miles east of Salamanca, Chile. Again, 12 earthquakes here in central Chile. Let's go north here. This is northern Chile here. This region here. I'm showing you the region here. Sucre is in Peru. This region right here, guys, has 16 earthquakes here. 16 earthquakes. They range in size from 2.5 to 4.2 earthquakes here. 2.5 to 4.2 earthquakes here. Chile is rolling, guys. It's rolling. Earthquakes all the time, especially here in Atacama and Tarapacá, Chile, northern Chile. They have earthquake faults here. That's the reason they have earthquakes here. All kinds of them. Northern Chile here has a 4.2 earthquake here. Northern Chile right there. Going north here. Southern Colombia here. Southern Colombia has 3 earthquakes south of Cali, Colombia here. Going north here to near Bogota. Santander, Colombia, a town here, has 3 earthquakes. They're 2.5, 2.6, and 2.7 earthquakes. Going north here. This near Barranquilla, Colombia. 3 small tremors here. 1.17, 1.7, 1.9 earthquakes here, tremors. Going over here into Venezuela here. 2 more earthquakes here. Both those are also 1.1, 1.7 tremors here. Venezuela. Earthquakes are rocking up here in northern South America, western South America, Peru included, all the way over here into Chile. Central America here. 21 earthquakes here in Central America. USGS not showing one of them, they never do. 48 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 48. Lots of them. Coming from down here in southern Mexico right here. They go all the way up here to the north, just south of Puerto Vallarta here. Just south of Puerto Vallarta here. We also have earthquakes over here near Cabo San Lucas. 3 minor tremors here near Cabo San Lucas. Cabo San Lucas in the past few weeks, even months, has gifted us minor earthquakes, 2.3, 2.5, 2.7, and tons of minor tremors here. Tons of them. Going up here into the Gulf of California, we have earthquakes here. USGS not showing one of them, not one. That's a crying shame. Because some of these earthquakes here in the Gulf of California are coming into Southern California, coming into the Imperial Valley. I'm going to show you those earthquakes in just a second here on my other device. You deserve to know. You folks, especially live in the Imperial Valley, deserve to know what's going on here. I've told you before, I'm going to tell you what's happening. You have the right to know it, whether USGS wants to or not. Okay, earthquakes happen here. Again, over here on southern Baja, Cabo San Lucas, 1.7 tremor here. 1.7 tremor here. Over here on the western side of the Baja here, La Paz, Baja. La Paz, Mexico. 3.5 small earthquake. 3.5 small earthquake here. Over on the east side of the Baja, this is also 3.5 earthquake here. Okay. Then we go up into the Gulf of California here. Went into the Gulf of California here. This is also important. This is also important. Right here. 2 more earthquakes here. We have a 4.3 earthquake right there. Central Gulf of California. Just to the north of there, another 3.6. So we have a moderate 4.3 and a 3.6 right here in the Gulf of California. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? Guess what this is? Guess what this fault zone is, guys? Guess what this fault zone is? The San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. That's why it's important. This seismic energy is moving north up the San Andreas Fault. Everything else from Northern California, Southern California is moving into the Imperial Valley. Moving into the Imperial Valley. You need to know it because your lives depend on it. Your lives depend on it. USGS doesn't want anybody to know about it. They want to give themselves the benefit of a doubt. They're not going to talk to you about it. By the time you find out about it, it's going to be too late. Unfortunately, by the time they talk to you about it, it's going to be too late. It's already happened. Now, guys, do you have any questions about earthquakes? No problem, Sleeping Volcano said she was tied up. She just got here. I'm glad to see you here, Sleeping Volcano. By the way, her name is Sharon here. Sometimes she shows up as Sharon, so depending on her device. Other times it shows up here as Sleeping Volcano. She and her husband Dennis are very good friends of ours. We love them very much. So welcome Sleeping Volcano to this chat. Ed Zachary says October 7th, 1989 was on the San Andreas Fault, not the Hayward. I beg to differ, guys. The Loma Prieta volcano was on, The Loma Prieta earthquake was on the Hayward Fault. on the Hayward Fault. All the data shows it was on the Hayward Fault. Ed Zachary, if you have information we need to have, or have information that you see, send us to us or email so I can peruse it. I'll show it to you tomorrow. Show it to all of you tomorrow. Okay? But the information we have was the Loma Prieta earthquake, 1989, October, was on the Hayward. On the Hayward. That's what we've been told. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Wendy's from England, jolly old England here. Wendy, thanks for being here. The guy speaking of Wendy here from England. Our buddy, Demon Catman from the east of England, is still laid up. Okay? I got an email from him earlier today. As I told you last week, Demon Catman has sent me an email early last week. He told us his house was burglarized. Burglarized, guys. He's still having PTSD from that burglary. He's still having PTSD from that burglary. Let me read to you his email to me. Dear Ron, and of course Carol, so sorry I've been suffering with brain fog. I could not for the life of me remember her name when I wrote the last email. I'm sorry to hear about your friend's passing. I told him about my friend that passed away. Thank you both so much for your prayers, thoughts, and blessings. All are also sent and very much sent to you. I, of course, remembered that you were a police officer, and you would have dealt with many cases of burglary, and you have helped victims through it. I remembered, too, that you saying that one of your properties had an attempted break-in. We was on a Friday preparation night. Yes, it was. He said it was a shock to his system. Shock to anyone's system that has been burglarized. No matter how prepared you are or how prepared you're not, it's going to be a shock to your system. It was on Friday preparedness night when he got hit. A bit of security and sanctuary were breached. My family have been worried about me and wanting me to move closer to them for a while now. They would like to be able to see me and support me more. As they know, I struggle and will become less able. Demon Catman has MS. Apparently his MS is getting worse. He says, I of course have to accept that I am and I will. As independent as you try to be, I live on the outskirts of a town. A sister lives a couple of miles from me. She's very busy with legal records career, and he doesn't get to see her often. The rest of my family lives in a village a few miles out of town. So a few years ago, he applied to local councils and housing authorities to be able to move. He could bid on places when the few came up, but a lot of places were unsuitable for him to move into. Due to the incident just happening, he's now being reassessed. It's noted about his vulnerability. His mobility was also recorded to have progressed since applying for disability and being able to move into a new place. Now he's been put into a higher rating, so he can move into a new place. It means that he can now bid on more suitable properties that have to be adapted for his housing needs. He said it won't make the availability anymore, but it is now a little bit more accomplished. But it is a small positive out of the mess he's in, I guess. I'm still having to rest a little bit more currently. Physical effort to concentrate on anything is very difficult. I have a couple of the pictures he sent from his doorbell camera, which he had pictures of the two police officers that came to visit after his burglary. Also has a picture of the burglar, a woman, about mid-30s, that burglarized his house. He said, "I thought you might want to take a look." The sergeant in charge of his officers was one of the officers that came to look, and he said the woman has warrants out for her arrest. The day of the incident, the woman, he says, he guesses, the moment she knocked on the door was ajar, and she went in and took whatever she had, whatever he could get, or whatever she could get, and took off. Demon Catman says, "I thank you for everything. Thank you all for helping me, for everything you do for me. I hope to join you back very soon. Love to you all. Love to you, Ron and Carol. Thank you for that, everything you do for me." That's Demon Catman. You haven't seen him here because he's been dealing with his burglary. He's had PTSD and has had his MS acting up on him. I want to share that with you because I thought it was important. Most of you also know who Demon Catman is, and you have feelings for him as well. He's a member of our EMA family here. He's a member of our EMA family. We love him. We love him. Now, guys, do you guys have any questions? Silverdance X60 says, "Very sad, DCM. If watching, sorry to hear. My heart is with you." He may very well be watching, but he can't come on and be part of the chat. Demon Catman is also one of our moderators here on this channel. Silverdance, I appreciate you being here as well. Those of you that are new here, please subscribe to our channel. Please like our channel as well before you leave. Please subscribe to our channel. When you do that, right next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell button, little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon. When you click on that little bell icon, you'll see a drop-down menu of 3 items come up. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. Like I said, usually we come on the air between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. We appreciate all of you being here. Thank you for being here, guys. Do you guys have any questions for me in regards to earthquakes? Any questions in regard to earthquakes, guys? I'm happy to address any of those questions. Now I have something else to share with you. Those of you that live here in the United States know that somebody attempted to take President Trump's life about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago Saturday. Now, at that White House Correspondents' Dinner, a man named Cole Allen stayed in the hotel, the Hilton Hotel there in Washington, D.C., 1 floor above where the president was. He came down out of the elevator, stormed through the Secret Service site, was trying to protect the president. He stormed through there with a shotgun and a handgun. Today, he pled not guilty at a preliminary hearing. He pled not guilty at a preliminary hearing. The judge scoffed at the defense attorney's power play. Cole Allen from Torrance, California, faces 4 charges, including assaulting a federal officer with a deadly weapon. The man accused of attempting to kill President Trump on April 25th at the Correspondents' Dinner entered a plea in Washington, D.C. federal court today. 4 charges related to the alleged crime. Cole Allen was shackled and wearing an orange prison jumpsuit. Pleaded not guilty to attempted assassination of the President of the United States, discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, transporting a firearm across state lines, and assaulting a federal officer with a deadly weapon. More charges are possible for the 31-year-old Torrance man from California. Now, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, she's part of the Defense Department. Allen's defense attorneys want Pirro and her office removed from the case, citing a conflict of interest, stemming from the fact that Pirro was a victim of the client's alleged crime. Janine Pirro was at the correspondence dinner and was an alleged victim of the crime. The defense attorney wants her removed from the bench, not prosecuting Cole Allen. Anybody that was at the correspondence dinner was a victim of the crime. Everyone. Because Cole Allen threatened everybody's life. Everyone's life. Now, they said, the defense attorney said, that because Pirro was a personal friend of President Trump, they wanted her removed from the defense team. I shouldn't say the defense, but from the prosecuting team. They asked the same of Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who was also at the ballroom of the Washington Hilton when shots rang out. As the case proceeds to trial, closer and closer to trial, the country and the world will continue to wonder, how can the American justice system permit a victim to prosecute a criminal defendant in a case involving them? The motion asks, or even how can one of the victim's closest friends prosecute the alleged perpetrator of the offense, given U.S. Attorney Pirro's friendship with the President and our Acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who was also in attendance at the dinner. According to Cole Allen, the law necessitates disqualification. Janine Pirro responded to their move on Friday, this past Friday. Janine Pirro said this past Friday, "We will evaluate the motion and respond in court. We will not tolerate people who come to the District of Columbia to engage in acts of political violence, and we will prosecute all such acts to the fullest extent of the law." Eugene Ohm, who is Cole Allen's public defender, told Judge Trevor McFadden today that it's likely that they would ask our Pirro's entire office to be taken off the case. However, Attorney Ohm said it was unlikely that they would ask for the entire Department of Justice to be forced off the case as part of the Blanche request. That's interesting. That's interesting. They said they can't possibly ask for the entire Department of Justice to be removed from the case, but only those parts of the Department of Justice who were attending the dinner, because they were possible defendants, possible victims. Judge McFadden said that would be quite a request. Allen is scheduled to return to court for a status conference on June 29th at 10:30 a.m. Now, Janine Pirro and Judge McFadden both said, "I'm tired of the games people play with our justice system. He's obviously guilty of every charge. The not guilty plea and request oust the prosecutor are just chess moves. The arrogance of these people, literally caught on camera running with a rifle through the hotel and arrested with weapons on him. Not guilty, Your Honor. Throw everyone else off the case. All the money wasted on criminal caught on camera and guilty of the crime. His lawyers reap the benefits and are being paid by the American people as taxpayers paying the price. What a waste of time and taxpayer money." How does the defense call her a victim? How does the defense attorney call Janine Pirro a victim? And at the same time, say their client is innocent? Now, I'm sure that the defense team was salivating last week when the judge apologized to him. I'm not overly optimistic about anything in our judicial system. It seems like crime pays. Seems like crime pays here. Guess what? I'm an ex-cop. Crime does not pay. Crime does not pay. I'm telling you right now, crime does not pay. Okay? But some of these people think it does. Some of these people think that they can do anything they want and get away with it. Kenzo says first offense. No, Kenzo did not make bail. Kenzo asked, did he make bail? No, he did not. He's being held on no bail. No bail at all. Any more questions? Any more questions, guys? Guys, I think it's really stupid that these people would think that they can just get away with it. Nothing will happen. I think it's stupid. I think it's totally bizarre. Totally and absolutely bizarre. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you being here. I really do. I appreciate everything you do for our channel here. I appreciate everything you do for me. We appreciate your support. So far, I have not seen any super chats here, but if you have the opportunity and can, please give us donations to our PayPal, which we greatly appreciate. Or you can send us donations through our mail here to our mailbox at 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, here in Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We appreciate you being here. Lastly today, guys, I thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I want to pay tribute to our mothers. Carol sent this to her father. She posted on Facebook as well, paying tribute to her mother here. Her mother passed away last August. Paying tribute to our mother here, my mother, Margaret, her mother, Betsy. Her mother, Betsy. Let me move these pictures over here so you can see this. I don't know how I'm going to work this. Got an idea. Hold on a second. I got an idea. Hold on a second. Right here. This is very important. Okay? We love our mothers, don't we? We absolutely do. Mothers mean everything to us. I lost my mother in 1991, and my wife, Carol, lost her mother last August. Carol posted this: I may not be able to give you a hug or hear your sweet voice, but I will forever keep the memories of our special times together alive in my heart. Happy Mother's Day in heaven, Mother. Thank you very much. I thank our mothers, both of our mothers, for raising us as they did. Love them very much. We love all of our mothers here. They're members of our EMA family here. We pay tribute to each one of you. We thank you for all you do for us here on this channel, for all you do for your families as well. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day, guys. We love you very much. We'll see you on the other side. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Thanks all for being here, guys. We love you very much. Take care. Enjoy your day. Be loving and kind to each other. Take care, guys. Be safe. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you.